East. Meanwhile, here at home, Mike Huckabee, President Trump's pick to be U.S. ambassador to Israel, is on Capitol Hill facing the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for his confirmation hearing. Joining us now, former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren. He's also a fellow at the Wilson Center. Ambassador, it's always great seeing you. I thank you for your time. Let's talk about what's going on in Gaza today. Seems like Israeli attacks, airstrikes are escalating. Israeli officials say the strikes have been killing Hamas leaders. How do you see it, and what do you make out of this? It's a new phase of the war after that ceasefire.
I don't know if it's a new phase. It's good to be with you. I don't know if it's a new phase, but certainly the continuum of the previous phase, which was an active military phase. And the goals remain pretty much the same. I'm not a spokesman for the government, but this is what the government is saying, that the goals remain to reduce Hamas's military capabilities, destroy Hamas if possible, and secure the release of the hostages. The two come together with the hope that by increasing military pressure on Hamas, Hamas will relinquish the hostages. The big problem was in the past, sometimes when you put too much pressure on Hamas, Hamas doesn't relinquish hostages, it shoots the hostages. So it's always going to be a very tricky game. The hope is that by targeting Hamas political leaders, in contrast, most of the targets before were military leaders, the hope is that these political leaders don't want to die, and they'll come back to the negotiating table and agree to an extended ceasefire in exchange for the release of more living hostages. There are indications that the Hamas may be willing to come back to those negotiations today.
Ambassador, I just earlier last week I had Ruby Chen, who was the father of Itai Chen, one of the Americans held by Hamas after the October 7th massacre. And he was saying that he feels that there's more possibilities of communication and support from the American administration, from President Trump, than there is from the government in Israel today. What do you see as the possible, or is it possible, to get anything going forward that could lead to this, I don't know if it's a second phase or the third phase of a ceasefire that could help bring the rest of the hostages home?
Itai Chen's father, and all my sympathies to him and his family, is referring to the fact that in January, on the eve of the presidential inauguration, the conventional wisdom that President Trump basically pressured Israel to agree to that first phase of a hostage for ceasefire deal, and that the hope is that President Trump could revisit that pressure and achieve a second ceasefire. That is certainly a widespread feeling in this country. A couple of weeks ago, 8 former hostages visited the president in the Oval Office, and that was their message. We need you to pressure our own government. Not all Israelis sign on to that, but it is a widespread feeling and hope in this country. Ultimately, it's got to be a three-way deal. It's got to be the United States pushing. It's Israel has to agree and accept terms that the traffic can bear in this country, and Hamas has to make to decide whether it can continue to withstand a very robust Israeli military counteroffensive, and whether it can come to the table and get a 50 or 40-day ceasefire.
Ambassador Michael Oren, I thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next.